If you're the type of person that is constantly trying to learn new habits or break old ones and you can't seem to make any progress, then this video is for you. I'm going to teach you a couple powerful techniques that I have used over the years to break down destructive habits and be exponentially more productive in your work, school, or business. The first advice that I have for you guys to learn good habits is to make it obvious. I first encountered this principle in the book called Atomic Habits, and it basically boils down to you making cues for yourself in your surroundings that triggers you to take action and perform the habit. Make whatever you're trying to learn more obvious so you don't have to rely on motivation to do it. Don't let your memory of it limit you from being consistent. For example, I'm trying to be better at taking this antioxidant called astaxanthin. It supports your eye health, central nervous system, skin elasticity, muscles and joint health, and cardiovascular health. So I'm trying to be more consistent with taking this every day. It's usually 1 pill a day after I eat either my lunch or dinner. And I found myself really struggling to taking the supplement daily. What would happen is I would take it one day, and the first few days or week was easy enough. But then I would start slacking and miss a day here and there, and eventually I would only take it whenever I could remember to take it, and that wasn't good enough for me. With my work schedule, I have to get up super early, so I don't take it in the morning, and when I get home from work, I usually have a light snack before dinner. So I only have one big meal, one instance where I could take it, and if I don't at that time, then I just don't. So I got tired and said, you know what, why don't I try putting the pill bottle, the bottle of astaxanthin, where I could see it? It sounds so simple, right? So when the time comes and I finish my dinner, I can't help but take it. I decided to literally put it on the kitchen counter, and so when I go to put the dishes in the sink, I see it with my own eyes. The black bottle of astaxanthin just staring at me. And guess what happened? I became more consistent with taking 1 pill a day to this day. I just made it more obvious for my brain to remember to take the supplement. Now yes, I still have to remember to take the bottle out and place it on the counter or whatever, but that added step is kind of like a trigger to me. Every time I walk from the dinner table to the sink, if I don't see the distinct bottle on the counter, then I become aware that something is missing and that there's a bottle of supplement that I have to take. I'm thinking to myself, well, it's always been there, so I know when it's not. Visual cues are so powerful in enforcing good habits, it might be the single greatest way one can stick to their habits, especially if you know how and where to place the cues in all the right areas. It can really unlock your ability to do anything you desire. Another thing that I have been trying to establish into a habit is reading non-fiction books on things that I'm interested in. So recently I've been reading The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and it's been hard for me to stay focused while reading and to be consistent reading it every day. When I first got the book, I found myself reading multiple chapters in one sitting, but then I became preoccupied with making YouTube videos and trying to balance work and lifestyle. It became really tough. Almost all of my day was going to work and then coming home and scripting and recording videos, so I coped in my mind saying that I didn't have enough time, and I started to slack off. Months passed and I realized, yeah, this is not working. I'm making zero progress with a simple book that's not even 500 pages. So what do you think I did? I went and opened the book up to the page that I was on, and I set it on my nightstand. So when I come home from work, the book is right there for me to see and on my mind. I go about my day, and when I'm in my room winding down, the book is still there on my nightstand. So every night before I go to sleep, I pick up the book and start to read. And that's it. And guess what happened? I made more progress on the book in a week than I had made in the last month. I made a cue for my brain so it automatically triggered into performing the good habit that I'm trying to establish. I don't need to think, I don't need to deliberate. You want to be as mindless as possible. If you're trying to stick to a good habit that you often find yourself forgetting, then you should add cues in your room that trigger it, that doesn't involve any rationale or thinking. You want your brain to go into autopilot mode after seeing the cues. And these visual cues also go hand in hand with the concept of priming your environment. Priming your environment is basically you setting up your environment for you in the future. So something as simple as you setting your clothes you'll wear for your workday tomorrow and taking it out of the closet today, that's you priming your environment so you'll have to do less tomorrow. It forces you to be more efficient and for you to prioritize the future over the instant gratification of the present. And it is really powerful in establishing or breaking down habits as well. If you're trying to be more consistent in the gym, then you better have your workout clothes out where it's visible. So when you come home from work or when you wake up, it's on your mind, it's right there. You know, there's a saying, the first step is usually the hardest one to take because it requires you to overcome the threshold of desire and want. Once you put on those workout clothes, it's easier to put on the running shoes. And once you put on those running shoes, it's easier to drive to your local gym. And once you step foot in the gym, it's easy to go and work out. It's those first steps that may seem minor that can really set off a chain reaction and compound. And it can absolutely be the difference between you sticking to that good habit and you treating it like a fad. And don't think this is just for making a good habit. If you're the type of guy that has a nagging and destructive habit that you know is bad, but you can't force yourself to drop it, then you have to make it less obvious. For example, I know social media addiction is a huge issue in many of our lives, and it can seem so hard to step away from it. Once you start scrolling on TikTok or Twitter, you'll seriously find yourself on there for hours, and it can be so hard to stop yourself at any moment. Now, what do you think I'll tell them if they say they're addicted to their phones or social media? First, I'll tell them to consider flat out deleting the social media app if they can. Like if you're really serious about stopping your social media addiction, then the quick and painless step will be to delete the app completely. Of course, people will then tell me, I can't delete this app, man. I need it for my business or whatever. Or they'll say, oh, it's not that serious, man. It's really not even an addiction. And I'll be like, okay then, if you can't delete the app, then you should look at unfollowing all the accounts that you find yourself binge watching or scrolling on said apps. Just unfollow them and go about your day. The thing that is really powerful is lowering your screen time, which you can do by putting your phone in a separate room from you when you work. Say you're doing schoolwork or writing an essay or a script or any big task that you have to sit down and concentrate on. You best believe I'm taking my phone and putting it as far away from me as I can. And please don't give me the excuse of, oh, but what if I get an important call? Then what? Then nothing. Like, come on, you can go without your phone for 30 minutes. I promise you it won't kill you. If you're really paranoid, then you can put your phone where you can hear your ringtone or whatever, but the whole point of these exercises is to reduce and limit or outright eliminate the visual cues that trigger your bad habit. It all comes down to the cues. The reason it is so powerful is because most of our daily habits are just there because we have conditioned ourselves for many years to do certain things a certain way. And most of the time it's simply because it's right there in front of us. So when you have these cues, there's less of a barrier to those actions. Like they say, out of sight, out of mind. But anyway guys, that's the end of the video. Please try and incorporate these principles into your life. It actually works, I promise. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.